Welcome back, everybody. The Cheapo Spotlight today, the all-new Bluetooth AN9002 from ANENG. Big thank you to Banggood for shipping the AN9002 my way for the review. Always nice to have a Bluetooth meter on the channel. Let's see how good this one will rate. Hopefully, it's going to be amazing. The neat thing about the ANENG AN9002 is the fact it has Bluetooth. That's right, built-in Bluetooth. Download the app and away you go. You don't see a whole lot of multimeters these days with that Bluetooth capability. 2021, and they still are few and far between. It's a great feature, and we're going to take a closer look at that in just a bit. ANENG 9002 shipped in a box. This one just said Bluetooth digital multimeter. Didn't actually boast the model name, so I guess they might use this for more than one incarnation. Ships with one of those nice travel pouches. I love it when they ship with these. Great to throw in the toolbox, what have you. Just, of course, it ships with those ANENG test leads. Cat 2 1000 volts, Cat 3 600 volts. A little on the small side for my liking, but hey, your mileage may vary. Not overly long, and the shrouding on the end, it's okay. The leads are okay. Also ships with a thermocouple because, yes, the ANENG does temperature as well. Nifty. Finally, we have our standard user manual. Now, there is one glaring omission with this user manual, and I'll point that out as well shortly, but here you go. No pictures, strictly English verbatim. I guess there is a few pictures. What am I talking about? But it's an okay manual. It's very basic, and it doesn't really go into much detail, but better than nothing. I thought I'd bring out a couple more ANENGs just for a overall comparison size-wise. The ANENG 9002 is a little bit bigger, not by much, maybe a quarter of an inch, really. We're talking semantics here, but it nonetheless is the biggest of them all. That Q1 on the far right, the smallest, and the SZ18, which I just reviewed, somewhere in between. Now, size aside, one of the glaring omissions that I find, at least on this ANENG, is the fact that there is no rubberized boot on the meter. And what do I mean by that? Well, simply, it's hard to get a good grip. It really is slippery plastic all around, and yeah, just not great. If we take a look at the ANENG, for instance, yeah, you do have the plastic here, but at the same time, you've got that really nice, soft, supple rubber grip, and it makes a huge difference. Even on the Q1, they have that soft, supple grip built into the holster, but nothing on the 9002, just slippery, dickory dock. On the back, we have that tilt stand, and this is another kind of problematic thing because no matter how hard you try, oh, there it goes. Well, guess what? That was probably the least amount of tries it took me, but it's really hard to get out of there. I don't know if that's just a one-off with this production unit or if they're all the same, but oh, it's very aggravating. Powered by 2 AA batteries, and we have that nice threaded insert. Now, this ANENG is also one of those auto meters. That's right, it will do resistance and voltage, but there is a caveat. Of course there is. In terms of the standard voltage, it has to be over 800 millivolts before it engages in the auto mode. Anything under 800 millivolts, and it ain't gonna happen. We'll test that out in a bit too. Let's take a look at that selector switch, shall we? Starting off at the 9 o'clock or off position, followed by auto mode, volts and resistance. Volts AC/DC, including frequency and duty cycle. Millivolts AC/DC, including frequency and duty cycle, as well as temperature. Continuity, diode, capacitance, and resistance. Frequency and duty cycle. High current amps, AC/DC. Milliamps, AC/DC. Finally, microamps, AC/DC. Top left, we have our range button. In the middle, we have the rel, followed by the max min, and finally, frequency and duty cycle, as well as a 2-second hold to enable the Bluetooth functionality. Finally, on the far left, we have our high current 10 amp input. Beside that, we have the milliamp microamp, fused to 600 milliamps. We have our common or neutral, and on the far right, diode, continuity, temperature, volts, resistance, frequency, and capacitance. The selector switch itself, I find it a little on the mushy side. It has that annoying beepity beep every time you turn it, and it's pretty loud. A little on the obnoxious side, but you know, it is what it is. But what really irks me is the fact that it is kind of sloppy, mushy. Definitely not the best selector I've come across. Starting off with the DC accuracy test, 250 millivolts, what we want, and spot on, Mr. ANENG, it's what we get. 2.50 volts, what we want, and of course, that's what we get. Good stuff, ANENG, when it comes to DC accuracy. Take a look now at the display itself, 6,000 counts, LCD, nothing really fancy. Yeah. Now, you do lose some of that viewing angle depending on where you're looking. So, you know, hey, LCD, liquid crystal display. Yeah, been there, done that, right? Now, sit down, take a deep breath, and behold. Yeah, a thing of beauty. We have a little bit of bleeding over here at the top right, but nonetheless, a very nice looking backlight that stays on permanently. Oh my goodness, I'm still recovering from the UNI-T 61E Plus. And look at this, next meter, and wow, ba-boom, ba-bing, same thing. I am telling you guys, they are listening, they're finally listening, and it is just great. So yeah, that backlight will stay on indefinitely until you turn it off. Oh, good job, ANENG. Thank you so much. Thank you. I think I'm gonna cry. Thought I'd just give you a quick look-see. The 61E Plus, which I just reviewed, and the new ANENG 9002. Yeah, that display on that UNI-T is just amazing. Really hard to get any better than that. A little bit of bleeding going on, as you can tell on the ANENG. Of course, it depends on the angle, but still, I don't think it's quite up to snuff like that UNI-T. But nonetheless, it is very, very good. Hey, don't forget, if you haven't watched the UT61E Plus video yet, go leave a comment. Christmas Day, we're doing a draw. Feliz Navidad, Hospero mano feliz Navidad. Whoa, hey, we're recording, sorry. Yeah, so we are in dialed mode right now. Hey, by the way, Christmas is coming. Wow, how many shopping days left till Christmas? Right now, it is the 9th, so yeah, let me just put it this way, not many. Okay, here we go. Starting off with the green LED, and we are lit with that forward voltage drop. Over to the yellow, same thing. Moving up to the red, hey, looking good. Over to the blue, oh yeah. Finally, the white LED. And yes, 5 for 5 with a forward voltage drop on all of those LEDs. Oh, good stuff, ANENG. Can it test a regular diode as well? Well, of course. Now, we don't have that nice audible diode beep. That just would have been over the edge, but, you know, at this point, it's just over something. What the hell is over the ledge? Output voltage in diode mode is... DC 3.94 volt. Groovy. DC voltage showdown time, starting off at 2.49 volts. And look at that, we have a total agreement across the board, 2.49 all the way. All right, taking it up a notch, 9.94 volts, 9.95 for the SZ18, 9.94 for the 9002, and 9.94 for the Q1. Awfully close. 13.58 volts now, 13.56, 13.56, and 13.56. Oh, looking good. Okay. Higher, 20.76 volts now, 20.75, 20.74, and 20.74. Oh, it is so close. Let's max it out now. 30 volts, and you can see none of these ANENGs are giving us a high voltage annunciator or indication at all. Showing up as 30.21 for the SZ18, 30.20 for the 9002, and 30.20 for the Q1. Finally, you can tell that the 9002 is lacking a bar graph. Oh, what a shame. It would have been a really nice feature. Alas, it was not to be. Both as SZ18 and the Q1 have that nice bar graph display. Too bad, 9002. Let's check out high current right now, sitting at 1.5 amps. Let's just take it up all the way to 10 amps. And we finally have that high current alarm letting us know that we are in the danger zone. We don't have an annunciator, but we do have that audible beep, so that's a good thing. Let's bring it back down. And yeah, we now are back to regular programming. Here we are downloading the app. Bluetooth DMM is the name from the Google Play Store. It's an Android app at this point. I'm not sure if it's actually available for the iPhone. I'm going to have to find out for you guys, but stay tuned for that. So once you log in, you click on the visitor icon at the bottom right, and it greets you with this gorgeous screen. Right now, we're going to measure a 100 ohm resistor. Yeah, look at that, no problems. And really, really nice trend analysis on the bottom, as you can see. You can data log over the long term as long as you want. Basically, as long as you have space on your Bluetooth device, you can keep on measuring. So it comes in ultra handy. Never had any issues with the Bluetooth software. Rock solid. Real pleasure to use. Highly unusual, actually, for Bluetooth software to be so bug-free. Another cool feature is the way the graph will change according to what you're measuring here. Wait for it, wait for it. Look at it. Here it goes. It's coming. Bada boom, bada bing, bada bang. You see that now? We are in the 10 volt range, 10 to 60 volts, and it just changed on the fly. Very nice how that graph analysis can actually modify itself according to what is being measured. Very cool. As well, you can save these curves, as they like to call them, for later analysis. No shortage of logs. Basically, save what you want when you want. You have total control. Going to measure one more component here just to give you another quick look-see at how the software looks. This is an 8.26 ohm resistor, and yeah, it is just very, very nice. Really easy on the eyes, I gotta say. It kind of has that dark theme going on. I like it. I like it a lot. Probably one of the best looking Bluetooth GUIs I've seen in quite a while. There's all the functionality, but overall, excellent. 60 to 600, or rather 10 to 600 is our millivolt threshold. Now if I switch into auto mode, you can see we have just a resistance reading, because once again it has to be over 800 millivolts. And here we are, 800 millivolts coming up now, and there you go. It kicks in the auto mode, so anything less than 800 and it will not work. In auto mode, it should differentiate between volts and resistance. Let's try it out. We'll start off in auto mode, and we'll look at a 9-volt battery. And whoops, let's try that the other way around, shall we? And there it goes, just under 8 volts. So obviously this battery is getting low. Now let's try resistance, see if it picks it up. This is a 22 mega ohm resistor. And there we go. It took a little while, but 22.7 megs, and it is good to go. Let's see how fast it is to range in resistance mode. It's sitting at 9 mega ohm right now. Let's go up to 2 mega ohm, 4 mega ohm, 6 mega ohm, 8 mega ohm. Yeah, so not too bad. Not the fastest, but definitely doable. Let's try 90 ohms. Gone up as 99.8, 50 ohm, 53.8. Yeah, I guess that'll work. Right now I've got it in manual range. Just use that range feature and we can go take it out of the mega ohm into the ohm. This is an 8.25 ohm resistor. Whoops, here we go. And it's getting down there, 8.4 ohm. Yeah, that works. Now, is it any faster without manually ranging? Well, let's try it out. Here we go, same resistor in auto ranging mode. You know what? That was quicker than the manual ranging. What the heck? Interesting. Alrighty, Aphrodite, we are in continuity mode. Stock default probes. 3, 2, 1. Not the fastest. Definitely loud. I do have to put some pressure on those leads, though. Let's try the Probe Masters. Probe Masters, here we go. Honestly, not much of a difference here. Still rather slow to latch. And you really got to put some pressure on there. Oh, I was expecting better. 80.9 dBA is the maximum volume in continuity. All right, we're in millifarad now. This has a rated spec of 10 millifarad, 10,000 microfarad, and it got there no problem. But you know what? I want to do better than that. Can't we do 47 millifarad, 47,000 microfarad? Let's find out. Already, 3, 2, 1. It's thinking. It's in millifarad mode now. Oh, yeah. 44.89. Oh, excellent. So much better than spec. Good stuff. Well, you know what? I have not tried this, but I'm going to try it with you guys. Once again, can we do 100 millifarad, 100,000 microfarad? Oh, I just love it when these things are better than spec. I don't understand, though, why. I mean, don't they test these things? Like, what's going on? Anyway, we're already better by 5. Here it goes. Can we hit 100 millifarad? Come on, ANENG. Millifarad mode right now. Yeah, excellent. 98.4 millifarad. Good job. 10 times better than the posted specification. Awesome. All right, on the lower end of the spectrum in capacitance, sitting at 10 nanofarad right now. Looks good. Let's bring it back up to 90 nanofarad, 80, 60, 40 nanofarad coming up as 37.5, 20, and 10. Awesome. Sitting in auto mode once again, and we're going to try AC volts now. Here we go. And Mr. Plug, if you will cooperate, there we are, 120.8 volts AC. True RMS. Let us try the frequency. Hit that frequency button. And nada. So to get to frequency, oh my god, we can't do it in auto mode. That kind of sucks. So we'll have to switch over to volts AC. And now we should be able to hit that frequency button. And there you go, 60 hertz and 50% duty cycle. Taking a quick look at frequency, we have a 10 megahertz threshold here, sitting at 2.795 on a sine wave right now, 3 millivolts peak to peak. All right, take it up, 3.7, 4.7, 6.8, and let's max it out. $9.995, excellent. Finally, we're going to take a look at non-contact voltage. It doesn't matter what range you are on. Simply hold down on that select/NCV button, and it takes you into EF mode. And here we go. You know, once again, not the greatest NCV we've seen, that's for sure. Yeah. Finally, we take a quick look at that hold feature. A lot of times people ask me, hey Darren, how is the hold? Well, it's a standard one-touch hold. 95% of the time, that's what we get with the cheapos. But sometimes it is a little bit better. We get that delay, which allows us to actually hold the reading. But let's see what we've got here. Standard 9-volt battery. Might help if I put it into volts. And here we go. So coming up again is 8 volts. Now if I go to press hold, yeah, you see it's just too fast. Sometimes you get a bit of a delay on that hold, which allows you to hold the button, and you can tell it flops all over the place. It's just... Now, if you're lucky enough to get one of these meters that has a max-min feature, that is a good thing when it works. Unfortunately, it's rather buggy. In fact, I would say non-working on the 9002. I'll give you a quick example. We're in volts DC right now. I'm not in auto mode. We're in volts DC. And I'm going to hit that max-min function, which should hold the first value it gets. And we get an OL. Doesn't matter what I do, I get an OL. Really sucks. Hit it min, yeah. Doesn't work. It doesn't work. Finally, we have temperature mode and ambient sensors built on. No need for that temperature sensor, temperature probe, unless you want to measure fluid or a flame, what have you. So kind of nice having that ambient temperature sensor on board. 22 degrees Celsius coming up on the 9002, 19 showing on the Q1. Now the Q1 does have advantage here. You can tell we've got that nice dual display, so we have our Celsius and Fahrenheit all on the same display. If I want to get to Fahrenheit here, I have to hit that select once, and it brings us into Fahrenheit mode. A little bit of an offset here, about a 5-degree difference. I thought I'd bring in a third opinion, and it looks like Mr. Hewlett-Packard is agreeing with the 9002, around 22 degrees Celsius. Good stuff. Already it's teardown time, and I gotta tell you, this is not an easy one. I mean, you got these 4 Phillips on top and on the bottom, and yeah, you can't push it out. You can't. Wow, so you blow a fuse, and you were probably gonna blow another fuse just by getting so damn frustrated just trying to take the dang thing apart. Bear with me. Okay, so you really have to pull it, push it. Oh my God. Oh, Lord. Yeah, so big thumbs down in that respect. Jeez. Anyway, all right. All right, here we go. We are in, and yeah, we have these small fuses again. Wow, ANENG loves their tiny fuses, don't they? What do we got here? 20 by 4.5. All right, here we go. Taking a look at the reverse side, and no shielding. Hey, no surprise. The only meter I've seen thus far this year to have shielding was the UT61E Plus, and no worries. I'm going to open up that bottle of champagne as promised. Stay tuned for that. What else do we have here? Oh, let's get in nice and close, shall we? Starting off with the input jacks. At the very bottom, they are the split variety, and they are encased by the plastic housing, giving it some added support. Here we have our current shunt, and it's rather small. On the high current side as well, we have a couple of melts and a diode clamp. Finally, on the voltage side, we have one tiny PTC. Not seeing anything further in terms of NCV detection. Not on this side of the PCB. I do see the NCV moniker over here, and so it's possible it's one of these embedded wire strips that goes the length of the PCB. But we're going to top left, we have our Bluetooth module, the ZYDC, fab date of 2024-11. Main IC is cobbed. Here's our crystal oscillator, and whoa, looks like somebody had some fun with a soldering iron, doesn't it? Yeah. Got a little bit too close, probably when they were soldering these 2 wires for the display backlight. Got a little too close and started a wee bit of a meltdown. Interesting. All right, have that PCB turned over for you guys. Let's start off with this side here. Nice rotary selector tracks. Looks gold-plated, really nicely done, nicely finished. Very good spacing, what have you. Big display. Wow, when you look at it like this, why didn't they put a dual display? I mean, it's a pretty big looking screen. Flip it over, and there we are back to our PCB. Now, just so you can see, yeah, it's soldered in there, but on one side, so I don't know about that. Morse code, anybody? Finally, here is the rotary selector switch itself. Now, I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's a little bit dirty. And that wasn't me. It looks like there's some flux on there as well. So, maybe ANENG should pay a little bit more attention in the Q&A department. Yeah, wow. Off. Of course, we have the soft touch buttons over here, and the rotary selector switch itself with our nice tracks over there. And it is the ball and spring variety. I'm not going to pull it off. I just don't want to lose those balls. But, yeah, there you go. So, yeah, put it all back together, come back with my closing thoughts. Now, one of the big caveats with this meter, of course, is the fact that it's Bluetooth capable, but they don't mention any of the software download functionality, nothing. In the manual, nothing. So, I guess somebody didn't get the memo, I don't know, but really, when you have a Bluetooth meter, and it's your saving grace, you might want to talk a little bit about where they can get the Bluetooth front end. Oh, crazy. Closing thoughts on the ANENG AN9002. Oh, wow. You know, I'm really caught in the middle. Those hard-to-access fuses were just inexcusable. They really have to make opening up the back easier if that's the only way to access the fuses. And you know what really irked me was that selector switch. Just mushy and overall not very, very fun to work with. The body really could use some sort of rubberized outer layer because it's just way too slippery, and this would easily slip out of your hands if they were even remotely wet. And you know what, that auto functionality, well, it's definitely limited. I don't know how really useful that's going to be. Hey, something all bad, that always on backlight. Hey, what can I say, ANENG? Great job. Now, if only more manufacturers can get in on the boat, it would make these multimeters even better. Fairly accurate multimeter as well, and the Bluetooth software worked really nicely. Never bugged out once. Super solid, stable. Love the overall GUI. It was just a real pleasure to work with. The ANENG AN9002 gets 2.5 out of 5 stars. Thanks for watching this review, everybody. Till the next one, keep on testing. Okay, it's high voltage time. We're going to start with 500 volts DC. 3, 2, 1. And there we go. No audible alarm whatsoever, but it took the voltage. Finally, we're going to max it out now at 1,000 volts. Yeah. 3, 2, 1. Put the safety goggles on. There we go, and we have a high voltage alarm. And that seemed to work just fine. We're going to try that one more time. Beauty. So it has survived the high voltage test. Loving it.